Well, earlier we were joined by Mandana Hendessi, who's a director of the Women for Women charity, to discuss the plight of refugees from Syria, particularly women and girls.
The physical conditions were not actually that bad. They were fairly well maintained, and here I'm talking about northern Iraq, the Kurdistan region of Iraq, where the government is actually putting a lot of effort into ensuring that there are facilities for refugees and so on. But the issue is more about the health and well-being of the women, because they are struggling to survive every day. You know, they're coming from very traumatic experiences. They've experienced war, they have seen their loved ones killed, and of course losing everything. And having to walk for miles and miles to a place of safety, often with their young children. One woman I met, she had a newborn, carrying a newborn with her on this miles and miles of journey to safety. And the threat of rape is there all the time. So it's this kind of immense fear of rape.
And within the refugees, there's almost a hierarchy of need, in as much as are widows the most vulnerable because they don't have menfolk to defend them? That's
very true. I think widows are very vulnerable, and it's also their economic situation too, their income. And that's one of the reasons why we actually focused on widows and the welfare of widow-headed households.
So tell us what you're doing, because you give some of these widows, and it's just a few that you manage to help in each camp, but you give them a pot of money so that they can start their own business.
That's right, but we also train them in business skills, in addition to psychosocial counselling.
It's because they've got to get their head right first before they can concentrate.
Absolutely. It's very important that we create a safe space for women to talk, because they need to heal, they need to overcome the horrendous experience they've had, but also the business skills gives them that impetus, that motivation to live, and live with hope for the future, and I think that's very essential.
It's actually hard to imagine what sort of businesses work in refugee camps. Give us an example. What sort of businesses are they setting up?
4 women in partnership have set up a wedding shop, where brides go in for makeover and their bridal costumes, but also wedding guests go in and get fitted out and have makeover and hairdressing. You know, weddings are very important in our region, and I think for refugees too. I mean, whether you live in a camp or not, you're going to get married,
and you want a normal life,
and you want a normal life, and you want to, you know, make a bit of a fuss.
Indeed. Now you're trying to replicate this with the Yazidi women as well. Are they an even more special case, in as much as they are really have been subjected to awful sexual violence?
Absolutely, they are much more special case. They are actually undergoing very intensive counselling and treatment, skin treatment, as well as other treatment.
Because they've made themselves ugly by hurting their skin.
Absolutely. Corrosive substance they rubbed on their skin and their bodies. They shaved their hair, they shaved their eyebrows, but you know, in a kind of very awkward way, and of course they're undergoing treatment for those. But in addition, you know, many of them were raped by 6-7 men a day, and you know, they were in constant fear of their lives. So all that experience needs to be spoken about and dealt with, but in a safe way.